going on, Jets fans? Welcome into NYJ today. We've got an episode and a half. We got a mock draft to start the show off.
NYJ Day.
Feels
Wednesday.
good. Wednesday is a nice night.
This week's moving a little bit quicker for me anyway, chat, than last week. That shortened week last week with that holiday was no good. No good at all.
I enjoy the time passing. So I am a teacher, and I am not in favor of the job that I'm doing because it's so difficult. It's a pain in the ass. But anyway, we enjoy doing this stream with you, and we are going to get right into it. So we've got our topics for the night. We've got a round one mock draft. We've got a tight end position discussion for the New York Jets. What should they do in free agency? What should they do in the draft regarding the position? We have a worst and best draft picks in Jets history topic, so there'll be a lot of debate on those. And we have Carson Wentz trade. How does that trade impact the Jets in as far as having the option to trade Sam Darnold? And we're going to get into all of those topics, and throughout the night, I have my cell phone on, so if you have something you want to call in about.
Oh, yeah.
So if we say something that you really disagree with, we would like to hear from you. If you have something that we say that you really agree with and hits home, we want to hear from you too. So the number is on the screen. It's at the top, right up there. It'll flash by. And feel free to give us a call. And that's it. We're going to get into the draft.
Let's do
it, you have
it,
anything
man.
you want to say?
No, just, again, we won't be, for those, trying to get in random times, we'll only be accepting the calls during breaks or transitions between topics.
Yes, that's a good point to make.
And, no, I think that's good. Let's get into it, man.
All right. So, we have any comments we want to
What do we got in the chat?
Grant Rude. Beer can snapping. Yay.
It's a good feeling.
Thank you, sir.
There
Appreciate that.
I love my mug.
It is always a good time to drink a beer.
First cheers of the night to you guys.
All right. So, we are going to take a look at our mock draft. I just got to switch screens here. It takes a little second. We will see you on the other side. On the other side. All right, we're back.
Do that again.
Yeah. And I forgot to hit the button. But it is on the screen now. So we're going to go one by one through the mock draft. We're not going to discuss the players until we have announced every player in the first round.
Absolutely.
And we'll hit the draft after that. That way we can kind of scroll on the screen here and show you guys just quick thoughts on some teams. We're not going to spend 5 minutes on every pick. But some are worth discussing because I'm in a disagreement with a few of his picks. And so
whatever.
We'll get right into it. So the Jacksonville Jaguars have the number 1 overall pick. They're taking Trevor Lawrence. Jets fans were literally praying that the team would lose at the end of last year to get the number 1 pick because everybody wants Trevor Lawrence. So that's the number 1 pick. You don't really need it for number 2, so I'll hold on to it.
Yes, Jets fans. In order to keep in tune with everything I've been preaching for the last 3 weeks, I did put on the record to take Penei Sewell number 2. I know a lot of you hate me. Now that I'm sitting here, I kind of hate myself. But here's my deal. So, one, I would say
we're not debating them yet.
Oh, come on.
We're not debating them
There's
yet.
a million people now that hate me. Actually, 4.
We will go over it. I have to put the picks in. I didn't even think about that. All right, so the Jacksonville Jaguars select Trevor Lawrence, Penei Sewell to the New York Jets. I have the 3rd overall pick. The Miami Dolphins select Jamar Chase, wide receiver out of LSU.
That's a good one.
We will talk about him. He is one of my favorite players in the draft. You have the 4th pick overall. You took the...
Oh, yeah. I took... I remember, it's Micah, right?
Micah.
Yeah, okay. Micah Parsons, coming out of Penn State, linebacker. I think, obviously, the Atlanta defense let that team down. I don't know the exact stats. I know they weren't too stellar.
I mean, they did not do well last year.
And that team actually, I remember looking at the depth chart.
We're not discussing the picks.
Oh, that's right.
We got to get through these picks. You just got to read it off.
Thank you. See, you got to hold me back.
Pick number 5 is Kwity Paye, edge, Michigan. And you put in Micah Parsons.
The chat's like, the whole stream is like 20 seconds behind. It's crazy.
Oh, no, it's okay. We got Bengals on the clock. They took Kwity Page, edge. Go ahead and read yours. And you can actually read them all.
We got Kwity Page. So Philadelphia took Caleb Farley.
Caleb Farley. Keep going. Read the school, too.
Oh, I'm sorry. Cornerback out of Virginia Tech. Detroit takes Zach Wilson. Quarterback out of BYU.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Carolina is taking Justin Fields. I think that's a pretty good pick there. Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
We got at Denver. We have Patrick Surtain, corner out of Alabama.
Go ahead.
Dallas takes the following pick, and we have Rashawn Slater, offensive tackle, Northwestern.
Good.
New York Giants at pick 11, taking Devonta Smith, wide receiver, coming out of Alabama. Pick 12, we have Jalen Waddle, wide receiver out of Alabama. At pick 13, we have Los Angeles, taking
J.C. Horn.
J.C. Horn, cornerback out of South Carolina. We know whose pick that was.
Gregory Rousseau, Vikings.
What? You memorized the list?
Some of them.
What a freak. What a freak.
Patriots, Trey Lance.
Correct. You're probably reading the picture.
The Arizona Cardinals, Kyle Pitts, tight end, out of Florida.
I actually like that pick there because
We're not talking about the picks yet. Keep reading. Wyatt Davis, Oakland, or L.A. Yeah, or Las Vegas. I wish they would stop changing.
Why don't you let me read it?
I wish they would stop changing their goddamn team name. It's really annoying.
Pick 18, Miami, Christian Darrisaw, offensive tackle, Virginia Tech.
Hold up. What's his name?
Darrisaw, Christian, first name.
Christian Darrisaw. Continue.
The 19th pick overall of the NFL draft, Washington Football Club.
Football team.
Football team, shit.
That's okay.
Is it team or club?
The football team.
All right. I'm getting two yachtsmen.
Keep going.
Bear Tucker, offensive tackle, USC. 20th pick overall, Chicago. ETN, running back, Clemson. 21st pick, Indianapolis is on the clock. They're taking Kadarius. Is it Tony?
Kadarius Tony.
Wide receiver, Florida.
I like him.
At the 22nd pick, for Tennessee, Christian Barrymore.
Got him.
Defensive tackle,
Jets
Alabama.
take the Notre Dame linebacker, Jeremiah Owusu.
That's right. Linebacker, Notre Dame.
Pittsburgh Steelers take Mac Jones.
At the 24th pick, quarterback out of Alabama. Oh, we got tongue-tied. Alabama.
The Jags take a guard. Who is it? Trey Smith?
Jacksonville's taking Trey Smith, offensive guard, Tennessee.
Okay.
At the 26th pick, we got Cleveland taking Rondale Moore, wide receiver out of Purdue.
Yep.
The 27th pick overall, Baltimore is taking Rashad Bateman, wide receiver.
I think that's a great steal.
Pick.
Steal. All right, continue.
The 28th pick, we have New Orleans with Nick Bolton, linebacker out of Missouri. I think that's a good pick. At the 29th pick, we got Green Bay taking Zaven Collins, linebacker out of Tulsa. And 30th pick overall, Buffalo taking Jalen Mayfield, offensive tackle, Michigan. And we get down to the two. We got Kansas City at the 31st overall pick, taking Samuel. Let's see, this one gets me too. Cosme,
I think.
Cosme, offensive tackle, Texas, which we knew they would take.
I think they need to, and maybe some people disagree. We'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold you back like you held me back.
32nd pick.
32nd pick, Tampa Bay, taking edge rusher, Patrick Jones, Pittsburgh.
I love that pick.
That's a good pick.
So I'll get into why I think they'll take him, or if he were there, I think they might consider it at least. Full results. All right. So,
Well, should we get into it? Let me just make sure the chat's clear. Looking around. You guys are looking beautiful tonight. Just saying. Just saying. Max Sports. Oh, wait. We got Sean Bennett saying, what are you guys drinking? What are you drinking?
American Blonde is
From
the
who?
name of my drink.
Who's the brewery?
I believe RAR. RAR is the name of the brewery.
Very much a boutique brewer. Not as boutique as Blue Moon. Light Sky. It's pretty delicious, though. You admit it.
Pretty lame drink.
It's
It's a pretty lame drink.
It's an umbrella drink? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Alright, so we made our mock draft. We have our picks there on the screen for you to now look. And so we want to hear from you, chat. While we're going through this, we're going to do this 5 picks at a time. And we want to hear from you, your comments on the 5 picks at a time. So if there's something that stands out, that's what you're going to comment on. Don't necessarily need to comment on every pick that we make because there's 32. Any thoughts on Trevor Lawrence going number 1 overall?
My comments on Trevor Lawrence?
Any comment? Do you have a comment?
Yeah, someone was... Grant Root said, pick it up, Mike, because the stream's about 20 seconds delayed.
It's fine.
Anyway, I think it's Trevor Lawrence is a no-brainer. I mean, I don't think anyone's fooling themselves on who Jacksonville was going to take. It's a struggling franchise, and I would say it would be first on the list for the NFL to relocate to possibly a European location or something like that. So
it helps having a star.
So what better way to fight that than to bring in the biggest talent of the decade? At least that's what we've all been reading.
Yep.
And based on the pro day, if anyone watched the Trevor
We already heard about this last episode. Don't even dare talk about it.
I don't think we talked about it on the stream. I think we talked about it before the stream.
You were talking about how he had his abs out.
Yeah, he had his abs out. He flicked his hair, and he looked like
Mike got excited
like
a little
Greek
bit.
god.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's no brainer.
Let's get to the Penei Sewell to the New York Jets, because that's why we're all here. It's
I
for
can
the
feel
Jets.
the hate. I can feel it.
Are they coming at you?
No, the stream's 20 seconds behind, so we won't know yet. But I know it's coming.
So here's the thing: Penei Sewell at the Jets pick, to me, not a great value pick for the Jets. We already have our right tackle.
Let me say something. Can I say something before you tear me apart? And before you guys, who I love, tear me apart? I said now, after weeks from when I first said that, when I committed, or when I said I would commit to Penei Sewell.
Yes.
We've gone through a lot together, NYJ Today. This is our 6th week, I believe, streaming, right?
Yes, this is our 6th episode.
That's right. And so I think that together, the chat plus your take on things have made me think otherwise. I will also say that I was big on Penei Sewell at a time, not that it's totally diminished yet, but at a time where I really thought a high-profile free agent quarterback was a real possibility. So part of the pick was this to say, hey,
protect Deshaun Watson, you mean?
Right.
Or
Dak.
Prescott.
Or Dak, before I remembered about the franchise tag possibility. But if that would have worked out, I would still be standing by Penei Sewell, because with that talent, high-profile talent, whether it's Deshaun or Dak, you're able to actually invest in the wall, to rebuild the wall, so to speak, from the Faneca, Dick Brickashaw, Mangold days. And I would still be standing by that. But because those things are off the table, if I could go back, I would change this pick.
Your philosophy and all of that sounds great. I just think that if they stay at 2 and they don't trade back from 2, they're almost certainly going to make a pick at that pick, like if they don't trade out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And if they stay at that number 2 overall pick, they're going to take a quarterback. And I think that's what Joe Douglas is trying to sort out right now.
I don't think...
Is how to approach this and how to attack it. He's still formulating his plan, I'm sure.
I think... I mean, we've said this before. I don't think that they're too in love with any of the talent in the current draft. I think they're gonna. I think their go-to would be. I think their go-to would be to stay with Darnold and then to get to the next season.
Maybe that could be, but they'd have to trade out of it. So if they keep Sam, I think they will trade out of it. We
talked about that too, and we didn't actually run trade scenarios in this mock.
No. We did not do trades, and we will only do trades probably in the very last mock draft of the pre-draft off-season. So. All right, Penei Sewell is a Jet. We got Jamar Chase, wide receiver, LSU. I think he and Tua Tagovailoa really make a good, dangerous pairing. I think Jamar Chase is probably my favorite wide receiver in the entire draft. I think he's all the things that you need in
I
a wide
wouldn't mean to
receiver.
interrupt you, but I have to highlight one comment if you want to put it up there.
I can't do it terribly
Oh,
quickly.
because we have the draft going. Yeah, that's right. Grant Rude says, I think Sewell at 2 messes up the entire draft.
It does. It really does.
I didn't mean to. Grant, well, I didn't mean to. If I could go back and change it, I would, but I didn't want to practice what I was preaching for the last 5 weeks. So,
yeah.
So there you go.
All right. Jamar Chase, I think it's just too good for the Dolphins to pass up. They might try to trade out of that pick and take a receiver, but we'll wait and see. Micah Parsons to the Falcons. Thoughts on that? I mean, we already kind of discussed that one. All right, cool. So the Bengals. I think they would like to get Penei Sewell, and I think that is their pick. This guy messed that up. So Penei Sewell, I think, is where he's going to end up with the Bengals. They're going to protect Joe Burrow.
I take responsibility.
He got hurt last year, so I think they're just going to they're going to protect him. But anyway, I took the best edge player for them because no offensive tackle worth number 5 overall. Caleb Farley to the Eagles. Good cornerback, top-rated cornerback in the draft. So good.
Eagles had a weak secondary, so
yep.
I thought it was a perfect fit.
We think
Seven's a good pick.
Zach Wilson to the Detroit Lions. I don't think there's any way that if the Jets are at 2 or if they trade out of 2 that Zach Wilson's not the 2nd overall pick in the draft. I would be surprised if he wasn't. So if we trade out of 2, I think someone's trading up for a quarterback and the Jets are looking to add picks and to build around Sam Darnold. That's the only scenario I see now at this point. It's either going to be trade for Deshaun Watson, draft a quarterback or 2, or they're going to trade back and build around Darnold. And so we don't know what route they're going to go. And that's why we're all still having lots of conversations about it. That's
a perfect chat comment. What do you guys think? The Jets obviously, John said before the stream, there's 5% chance the Jets draft Penei Sewell. So you guys are probably on me right now. We're a little bit delayed, so I'm just starting.
We're good. They're fine. We're good, dude.
Are we up to date?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. We're good.
Anyway, what do you guys think? Do we trade back or do we take Zach Wilson? I think that'd be a good engagement to hear from you guys on what that looks like.
Oh, which one they do?
Yeah.
So Zach Wilson or trade back. Which option do you think is most likely?
Mm-hmm.
This thing keeps moving. It's driving me crazy. There we go. All right. We got Justin Fields to the Carolina Panthers. I think they would be also a candidate to trade up to the 2nd overall pick, the Lions and the Panthers.
Right.
I think those teams are going to be aggressive if they don't get Deshaun Watson.
Totally agree.
Broncos take Patrick Surtain. His dad was really, really good cornerback, and by all accounts, this guy's really good too. Came from Alabama, so he's a legit defender, and I think the Broncos could use some secondary help. Rashawn Slater to the Dallas Cowboys. That was yours. I think he's offensive tackle.
Yeah, right. Well, that's easy. I mean, the quarterback having a totally shattered leg that's the only thing I need to say why they're drafting him there.
Yep, but they need some offensive line help, and I think that would be a good way to do that. All right, let's see. So QB is the most important position on the team. Why draft a right tackle when you already have one? Darnold is a turnover machine. Agreed, Sean Bennett. Yes. He is a turnover machine. He was the worst rated quarterback in football last year. I like the Eagles taking a wide receiver at 6. Fields to Carolina is scary as F.
That's what I was talking about.
And Surtain is gone in top 5. Just my opinion. Grant Rude, there's nothing wrong with you disagreeing with us. In fact, it is encouraged. That's just where we had him going. He slipped a little bit. But that's about, I think, his max, as far as where he's going to drop. He's not going to fall out of the top 10 for sure. We got New York Giants taking Devonta Smith, wide receiver. I think they would probably like Rashawn Slater. I think they would like some more protection for their quarterback. Frig his name. What the hell is it? Daniel Jones. I think they need more protection for Daniel Jones, and I think that Saquon Barkley, he needs some blocking too, because he hasn't really looked the same since his rookie year. He got hurt last year.
True.
Year before that, he got injured. Yep. So that's a concern for the Giants is protection and opening up holes for Barkley, because he's an explosive running back.
Yeah, they're really not maximizing him right now.
No, not at all.
Making him a one-dimensional type of player. And we were just talking about that. I was talking about John. Who remembers Sean Green? What's the saying? You know, rinsing, repeating the same thing is on the road to insanity or is insanity. Well, that's what Sean Green did every week.
He ran in
Same
the middle.
thing.
Ran in the middle of the offensive line is what he's saying. He was not really a versatile back. All right, so the San Francisco 49ers, after the Giants take Devonta Smith, they go for a wide receiver, and they go back-to-back Alabama wide receivers there. Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
I think that's a good pick.
I agree.
For the San Francisco 49ers. I just think that they need some more weapons. And I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. They're one of those teams where it's pretty mystifying as far as what the 49ers are actually going to do to answer their QB concerns. I don't know if
it's going to be Jimmy again.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I don't know, man. That's an interesting situation. They could be a team aggressive to trade up too, I think.
Who was their backup?
It wasn't anybody good.
What?
CJ Beathard?
Something like that.
I mean, he was okay. He's a backup.
Well, he
though.
played, half the season this year?
It was a different guy. I don't know the other guy's name. He's like the third. He's like second and third backup now. So
he sucked.
He was okay. He was just a backup though.
He's a backup.
Anyway, I don't know what the 49ers are going to do because Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt a lot.
Yeah,
He's frequently hurt. He's a lot like who's the other quarterback who used to get hurt all the time? Chad Pennington, which is on my
right
wall.
There.
All right, let's keep it moving. Chargers take J.C. Horn out of South Carolina, excuse me.
Correct.
Just another good defender. They need defensive help. They also need some more weapons for Justin Herbert. Minnesota Vikings take Gregory Rousseau, edge pressure. They had a defensive end, and they let him go. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he just basically hit 30 years old, and they moved on from him. And ever since then, they haven't really had a good edge pass rusher.
Real quick, Mullins from Grant Reard. Mullins was the San Fran backup.
Yes,
he's a
Nick,
good backup.
yes, Nick
not
Mullins.
starter material though. There you go.
Yeah, where is that? Oh, here it is.
Sean Bennett, I'd settle for Fields or Zach at this point.
Sean Bennett's the same way I feel, dude. I'm not leaving pick 2 unless we are either trading out or selecting a quarterback. That's what I'm doing with those picks. And again, that's if I'm not trading for Deshaun Watson. If he's off the table, then that's what they're doing. They're going to take a quarterback at that pick or trade out of that pick.
I think I'd rather see them trade.
I don't know. It just depends. I really don't know.
I don't think
Josh Rosen. I believe Josh Rosen is on the 49ers actually as like a practice squad or the Bucks or somebody.
something like that.
Yeah, it's one of those two. So he's got good coaching, Josh Rosen.
True.
It's just he's gonna need another shot. He hasn't had a chance yet, really, to really showcase himself in a regular season game.
And he would be getting a shot if he was showcasing at practice. So
yeah, that's
I think
true.
that tells you a lot.
Right, that's very true. All right, we are on to the New England Patriots pick, Trey Lance. That would be scary.
That would be very scary.
This dude is extreme. I have a video.
Have his physical stats?
So I had his stats on one of my videos in the channel. You guys could check out. I did a video specifically on Trey Lance. I broke down some tape of him. So he has only one interception in his college career, which a little bit concerns me. Mm-hmm. He literally threw one pick in his whole college career. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
And he has 1 year of full starting experience. So Trey Lance, to me, is the riskiest. He's kind of like the Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Like, he's physically gifted.
Right.
But a little bit concerning college stuff. Like, because Josh Allen was inaccurate in college, and people said he wasn't going to transfer to the NFL. So Trey Lance is one of those guys where you're like, I'm not sure.
It kind of reminds me of a player that's more applicable to a topic later in the stream.
Yeah. Well, he's
one of the worst draft picks that the Jets ever had.
Grant Root agrees, dude. Grant Root agrees. He says Lance under Belichick would be a nightmare. And that's the thing. It's a scary, scary proposition, but I think it could happen. Like, why the hell wouldn't Belichick just be like, you know what? F it. Like, I'm just going to roll.
He does it all the time.
I could see him making a move like that. Because really, like, how many more years does Belichick really have? The dude is quite big in the chest. He needs to go home and retire. Belichick is old as dirt and he's chunky.
He'll be in the league until his last breath. The torment. all of us.
I don't know about that. I think he's probably done in 5 years.
No, they did a documentary about it. I think they did it during their last Super Bowl run. And he said, I'm going to keep doing this job until life takes me out of it. That's what he basically said.
Trey Lance to the Panthers would be interesting. Sean Bennett, good comment, dude. I feel like Trey Lance's
really
game is he's like a college spread offense kind of guy, but he actually played under center a lot at North Dakota State. That's the one thing I took away from his game tape was like he actually is pretty good play action passer. As far as I saw,
he has really good awareness.
I don't know if that relates to that what I was just saying, but
he can see the options on the field. Is what I'm saying.
He threw one pick,
right?
So he must be able to do something with his eyes, I would think, right?
Well, he's not blind.
So Grant Rude said Lance would be the highest upside draft pick Belichick ever picked ever. Yeah, no, it's true because Belichick in the draft has always been one of those guys that like he drafts strange.
Yeah, he does, but it's worked for him.
But it hasn't though. He's been a poor drafter actually.
Well,
chat, back me up on that.
He drafted Brady, didn't he?
Yeah, he drafted Brady in the 6th round.
Right. But no one else, he would have went undrafted.
It was a miracle what Brady is. Brady is a miracle. A 6th round Hall of Fame quarterback that might be the best quarterback of all time.
That's not luck, bro.
No, I'm not saying him being good is luck. I'm saying Belichick hitting him in the 6th round.
Oh, I think he knew what he was doing, bro.
Get the hell out
of here.
I
definitely think he did.
No way.
But do you think the Jets would have drafted Brady? No, because our front office was too much of an idiot.
Joe Brady would use him to the best of his ability. I don't see that as an option. No way. All right. We're on to Arizona, Kyle Pitts. I'll be honest with you. I have a little bit of a crush on Kyle Pitts.
I do too.
I would really, really like to have a Greg Kittle or a...
From Minnesota?
No, the Chiefs guy, Kelsey. Sorry, my brain. Travis Kelsey. I would love to have an offense that had a tight end that was like basically the like number 1 or the number 2 option because that's what Kelsey is in that Chiefs offense, dude.
Oh, absolutely.
Kelsey is a stud.
He's a big part of when that offense does good.
And Kittle is explosive. I would love to have a Kittle-like player in our offense. Somebody that could line up at the wide receiver position in the slot.
Right.
That would be so dope to have that, and I'm dying for it. What?
Brent Root says John's right.
Yeah.
What is John right about?
I guess he needs reminding.
No. Yeah, we got to play it back. We're going to play this back post-production. I want to see how John's right.
Yeah, Grant Root, I did make that pick, and that's kind of my thinking. Like, if he falls to the Cardinals, I don't see any way that they pass up on that. Because then they'll have Hopkins on the outside. They'll have this dude in the middle. And then they're going to have Kyler Murray, having to contain him.
Right.
Dude is a dual-threat quarterback to the highest order. And that would be impressive. That would be a hell of an offense to run out every Sunday.
Exactly.
So I liked that pick when it fell to the Cardinals. I was like, there's no way they're going to pass on this.
Especially with Kyler Murray. All
right, Wyatt Davis to the Las Vegas Raiders. I just feel like that's our Gruden pick. They ran the ball not so good last year.
That's another weird picker.
Yeah, he picks strange. They've had a weird
typically defense, but still a strange picker in my opinion.
He took Ruggs.
He did take Ruggs. Yeah. And he's also strange in free agency, in so many ways. Like his quarterback choices are always pretty strange.
He did good with Mariota. People are actually interested in Mariota this offseason.
Really?
Yeah, there's a market for Mariota. Apparently there's like trade rumors with him.
Because of Tua, you think?
No, because people are interested in him.
Yeah,
imagine him on the 49ers. That'd be an interesting mixture.
It's crazy to see what the league is with its quarterback talent. Like what the trend is, what works on the field. Very mobile quarterbacks. Versus...
There's my chat that I needed. There it is. Grant Reed. John was right about Belichick drafting poorly over the years and finding Brady was an absolute fluke. Of course it is. Nobody's looking in the 6th round like, where's the best quarterback of all time? Let me take him.
I'll say, here's where I think the luck was Mo Lewis knocking Bledsoe into the next world. I would say, and giving Brady the shot, I don't know. I mean, who would have drafted him, Grant? In which case he would have went undrafted and,
We're talking about Brady again?
I'm not trying to talk about Brady. I'm not a big
It always
Brady
goes
fan.
back to him with you. It's ridiculous. All right. We got Christian
Just
Darris.
saying.
He's a Brady lover. Christian Darrisaw to the Miami Dolphins offensive tackle. They're protecting Tua or their next quarterback. I just feel like that's what they would want to do as offensive lineman. Washington also takes the lineman Elijah Vera Tucker out of USC. Chicago Bears take Travis Etienne, running back. I actually like this pick for them.
That's what I'm saying.
This was my pick, I think.
No, I think that was mine.
It might have been.
I think it was.
It might have been. I'm not sure. It's one or the other.
I remember you telling me on the phone how sexy that pick was. I remember your voice.
Sean Bennett, I don't know if you locked your lips. Nope. Najee Harris is my wet dream at 34 overall.
Yeah.
So, Sean Bennett, I didn't take him on purpose because I'm hoping he falls to us at 34. I don't think there's any way he will. And I think maybe Joe Douglas will consider trading into the late first round, like maybe 30 or 31, something like that. Like just a nominal jump.
Right.
To potentially nab Najee Harris. That's my guy. I want Najee Harris
So like a
to
Zach
be a
Wilson,
Jet. But I don't want him to be picked at 23, and I don't want him picked mostly at all beyond like 28 overall.
Right.
I wouldn't trade up, or excuse me, I wouldn't trade back from 23 with the mindset to take Najee. I would be thinking trading up with the 34 and using maybe a third or a fourth to get the job done.
Right. I think that's the way.
It's a steep price though.
It is. I'm trying to think. How many touchdowns did Najee have in his last year?
I don't know how many touchdowns he had. He's a beast, though. He's a beast. The thing with Najee is like he is a physical runner, but he has decent speed. He's not a home run hitter. Like, let's not get it twisted. Najee Harris is not like Chris Johnson. But Najee in this offensive scheme, he kind of reminds me of like an Eddie George, but like a little bit shiftier. Like Eddie was a little bit more of a bulldozer.
Yeah, he was more head down.
Najee's a little agile. Like he can make some moves in the open, feel pretty good.
Well, you could do that in college. You can't really necessarily.
Right. Well, and he's got good hands though. Like some people.
That's the most important thing.
He does. He can make catches out of the backfield, and that's one of the reasons why I love him.
I feel like our offense didn't really. We didn't do a lot of play action.
You draft him at 20. Oh, so Sean Bennett's saying he would take him at 23.
Oh, see, that's it. See, there's different.
Some people say that. I don't agree. Well, and it's a respectful disagree.
Be nice to him.
It's a respectful disagree because
be nice to Sean.
We can get a running back. Like there's nothing wrong with taking a running back, but we have these 2 first-round picks, and we're a bad football team. I'm being serious.
Yeah,
we're a bad football team,
agree.
and we need to invest into the premium positions.
Yep.
Edge, quarterback.
Right.
Wide receiver, cornerback. Like, we need to hit on one of these positions because we don't have them right now.
No, you're 100% right.
All 4. Edge rusher. That's another. Did I say edge rusher? Edge, cornerback, quarterback, and wide receiver. We need one of those positions, and I just feel like...
Tight end.
And quarterback, I mentioned. So, anyway. Enough of that. He doesn't really fit the Shanahan system. The Jets will be looking for speed over power at running back again, just my opinion. I'm not saying that they wouldn't look for speed. You might be right. They might want Kenneth Gainwell. He's, I think, maybe the 3rd or 4th projected running back in this draft.
Right.
So they might go for him. I just feel like if they had somebody that could do a little bit of everything, like a really, truly an all-around back, because that's what Najee Harris is all about. He's kind of like a Curtis Martin in that way. He can do a little bit of everything, and I just like the idea being able to do a little bit of all of it. So, all right. We are on to the Colts. Kadarius Toney, wide receiver out of Florida. He is the shiftiest player in the draft.
Absolutely.
He is.
Absolutely.
He's not the fastest. He is the shiftiest. He will break ankles in the NFL. He did one juke move that I've never even seen somebody do before. He did this weird, like...
Black juke.
It was... I think it was.
It was like a real-life version of... If anyone's ever played, like, Madden 06, 08, maybe 10, I think they cut it off in 10, there was the impossible back juke move that you could do, and it would I had an 80% success rate.
It was
80%
you
or
couldn't
higher.
tackle it.
So if you want to know what we're talking about, go back, pull yourself out of Common of Madden 08, and experience the back to greatest move ever.
We're going to just talk about a few more of these draft picks because I'm ready to move on to our other topics. The Jets take, at 23 overall, Jeremiah Owusu. He actually fell, I think, too far in our mock draft.
Yeah, I agree.
The Jets don't want a linebacker.
Probably due to Penei Sewell pick. Let's just put it out there. Let's just say what it is.
I don't know. I mean, the Jets would really love to have their own version of Fred Warner, a linebacker from the 49ers.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the only thing I could say. Like, is if they draft this kid at 23, they're expecting him to be a sideline freak, basically.
Right.
And we could use one of those. I don't think C.J. Mosley is that necessarily. But, yeah. Mac Jones goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that's actually a really interesting pick.
Like
Ben Roethlisberger. He probably is playing his last year next year. He's 39.
I agree. I don't think he doesn't. You can actually tell he's aging versus Brady.
Exactly. Right. Jacksonville takes a little protection and run blocking in Trey Smith, the guard out of Tennessee. We talk about Cleveland taking Rondale Moore out of Purdue, wide receiver. They could use another weapon in that passing game. It looks like Odell Beckham might be gone, so that's a good move for them. Baltimore takes Rashad Bateman, wide receiver out of Minnesota. I think that's a great
Anyone
pick.
see the news today? Dez is going bye-bye.
Yeah, and I think this dude matches the skills that Denzel has.
Dez.
What did I say? Denzel? Sorry. Dez Bryant. Nick Bolton, Missouri linebacker for the New Orleans Saints. Their linebacker, who's the one from the Jets? Demario Davis?
Demario Davis.
He's been a stud for them for a pretty good amount of time now. And I think
me.
he's getting
Especially when I think of CJ.
He's starting to get a little long in the tooth now. He was still very good last year, but they might be looking for a linebacker.
That CJ topic still frustrates me. Still frustrates my soul, chat. And we had a really good discussion about that last stream. So
Grant, not to go backwards, but I agree. So like I had mentioned, I don't think he's gonna fall to 23. But if he did, I think the Jets would be potentially interested. That's why I took him. Not because I loved it. We are almost done. Green Bay, Zaven Collins, linebacker. Their run defense was awful last year, just the worst. Yep. Jalen Mayfield, offensive tackle to the Bills, out of Michigan. Their running game was atrocious. I think a lot of people might say Najee Harris there, but I don't think that the Bills' problem is a running back problem. I think it's a run blocking problem. Like, they don't have good blocking.
Exactly. That line struggled. If you watch those games...
Yes. Agreed. And they're
not built for that.
The running game sucked. They really could not run the football.
No. Imagine what they would have done if they could have opened up the options.
Oh, my God. When they traded Demario Davis. I don't know if the Jets traded him. I think they just let him walk.
Yeah, I believe that's right.
I don't know if they traded him, but it would be terrible regardless whether they traded him or let him go. It doesn't really matter. We got Samuel Cosme, offensive tackle out of Texas for the Chiefs.
Given. I think that's as given as the Trevor Lawrence pick.
I think the Chiefs need protection.
If you watch the Super Bowl, you would see that very clearly.
They were getting beat on the edge terribly. I mean, it was their backups because both of their starters were out. But I think they need to have a better backup plan there, and they need to potentially invest in the position just for the future for Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. And then last pick of the first round, Patrick Jones, edge out of Pitt. He falls to the Buccaneers. I actually really like him at 23. That's who I was going to look at. Yep. If the Jets, if he had been on the clock, that would have been my potential pick because I really like a pass rusher at 23.
Sean Bennett says, you guys like Ronnie Perkins at all?
I don't even know who Ronnie Perkins is. Tell me about him. I'm learning all these draft players. I will not claim that I know them all.
No.
There's a fair amount that I know, but not all of them. So
Sean, help us out.
Yep, hit us up with a little write-up on them. Maybe
give us a lifeline.
Position, college, and like stats maybe.
That would be cool. Chat's putting in like stats of players.
Yeah, so
their own announcing.
We've got 8 people watching right now, or 7-ish.
Do we want to take a phone call? Do we want to take pause for a second?
They can call in.
This is transition time. So if you guys want to, lines are open.
Yeah.
And If you feel like you want to yell at me about the Penny Sewell, if that infuriates you, let it out. Don't hold that. Don't internalize it. Let me hear it.
This is a good opportunity for Sean Bennett. So he said from Georgia. That doesn't tell me dick. So maybe call us back and give me a little better description than that. Hit me up on the phone if you feel like it, Sean.
We love you though.
Aren't the Chiefs tackles pretty young? I like a guard to the Chiefs more than more than a tackle. They were, all I know, Grant, was they were getting beat on the edge pretty badly. That's what I noted in the Super Bowl. They just kept getting pressure from the outside. It's not necessarily that the Chiefs couldn't use a guard. It's because of...
They could use anything, actually.
Right. They got all the way to the Super Bowl, and their biggest weakness was their edge protection.
And your philosophy was, why would you take a guard in the first round?
It's not that you can take a guard in the first round.
Oh, I thought that's what you told me.
I also...
When you were laughing at my Penny Sewell pick.
I took Wyatt Davis. Well, I would take Wyatt Davis at the 23 overall pick if he were there.
I think you're nervous because I cornered you.
You did not corner me. I would take Wyatt Davis at 23 overall. Penny Sewell's not a freaking guard. He's a tackle. Don't listen to him.
I know that.
Outside linebacker from Georgia. If he's a pass rusher, dude, as long as he can play defensive end.
Yeah, you trying to put a Brian Thomas on us right now? Is that what this is?
That's the next
one. Sean, I'm catching on to your tricks.
All right, we are going to move off the draft. Thank you for hanging in there with us. We enjoyed doing that. It took about 35 minutes. So if that's a little long for you guys, if you want us to speed it up or if you want us to take longer, just give us your feedback in the comments or...
Have you gotten a call?
No call. We're good. I don't know why you're asking me. We're going to move on to the next topic, which is going to be the tight end position. So where do you want to start with that? Do you want to open it up? I've been talking a lot.
How disappointed are we in our current tight end situation? You got Chris Herndon, had a bang of a year in his first season. I want to say 4 touchdowns, 550, 580, 580 yards.
For Chris Herndon?
Yeah, one read the stats.
Yeah. So Chris Herndon, we're going to just get right into the tight end topic. So in 2018, Chris Herndon had 56 targets, 39 receptions, 502 yards, 4 touchdowns. He coughed it up twice. We'll get into that in a minute. 2019, he was suspended. Yeah. Then he got hurt after playing like a drive. Like he literally was out.
It was less than a game. It was less than a full game.
Yeah. Grant Rude, not trying to go backwards here, but you said both tackles were out. That's my idea, is like they're going to have better protection. So even if those guys do get hurt, they've got a young guy developing in the wings.
Right.
That's kind of the idea there.
Sewell's a tackle. Do you think Grant Rude.
6 name is slipping my mind? Taking guard was a bad pick. No, I don't think that was a bad pick because at the time that was the best value in the draft. And that's why I like Wyatt Davis at 23. I think that would be top of the line value for the Jets. So a guard is not...
That's a good way to look at it.
A guard is a great position to invest in. It's mostly based on the draft, like the value at that current pick. Like who is the best player? Like I think in some cases... When you best player available is bad.
When you have no good quarterbacks or running backs, then you can start looking at the lineman at that point. If it's not a left tackle.
If it's the best player available, I think it's okay sometimes to take that player. McCagnon did it too much. Under the Jets, he was constantly taking the best player available, and that's why we drafted defensive linemen every year. And that's the same thing with Rex Ryan, too, even. We invested way too many picks in the same positions over and over again.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying you see that from pretty much every team. You know, before a guard is chosen as the top priority.
Right. My point is...
The overall talent has to really dwindle.
If you believe in the position, if you believe in the player and you think he's going to be a beast,
right, go
for it, I say. Wyatt Davis, I love. I would absolutely adore that pick. That would be great at 23. Okay. So this is where... It gets a little interesting. So in 2020, 45 targets, 31 receptions. So he caught 8 less passes than his rookie year. And then in 2020, he had 287 receiving yards, so less than 10 yards per catch, 3 touchdowns, and 2 more fumbles. So he's held the ball in his hands 70 times. And of those 70 times, he's dropped it numerous times and he fumbles the ball. He has a fumbling problem. 4 fumbles in 2 years of playing.
Lackluster. That's what I say to that. It's a lackluster season.
Grant Rude says, I'm good riding with Herndon, Herndon and a vet free agent at tight end. We are going to get into that, Grant. What do you guys think about Wesco converting to fullback? Grant Rude, great question. If they do not go after Kyle Juszczyk from the 49ers, then yes, that would be fine. Wesco is a better fit for fullback, I think. He's kind of shown that in his career. It's a short career, but I think he's better suited for a fullback position.
Yeah, good hands.
Decent hands as a fullback. He can catch the ball.
Oh, absolutely.
Leonard Williams was a bust for us. That's absolutely right. So that's the thing, Sean. Taking best player available is good, but you need to hit on those best available players. Taking the best player available doesn't really help you if you already have good defensive linemen.
Ask the Raiders.
The Jets took Leonard Williams, and they did not have a need at the position at the time they took him. It was they did not.
I'm trying to think.
I'm pretty sure they had Mo Wilkerson and Sheldon Richardson. Now, we know that those two didn't work out, so maybe that's why they took them. But, well, anyway.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think we still had
Chris
Herndon.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think we also still had Quentin Couples.
I don't think he was on the team then. They cut him shortly before. Because Rex drafted Couples.
True.
So I think that Herndon's vastly disappointed last year, and Jets fans all pretty much agree in that sentiment that he was really underwhelming.
Yes.
Very, very poor play on the football field. You can look at the stats all day long. You can say, oh, yeah, he had almost 300 yards, so maybe he's a good backup. And that's probably where I'm going with this.
I'm just saying that
Herndon is a decent...
He hasn't... Hunter Henry's on the market, and then you got Kyle Pitts, who is realistically we could trade down to in the draft. So those are two...
totally just changed the subject. I was talking about Chris Herndon.
I know, but I'm just saying, what I was getting at is with the options on the table to improve the tight end position for the Jets, and you look at their stats for both of those options, and you compare it to Chris Herndon's best season, I don't care if he played at his first season. I would still look at other options, I think.
I think they will.
So
that's what I'm
trying to say.
He's a backup tight end, and the Jets need to improve in the position. I think that it hurt Sam Darnold not to have a good, solid tight end to throw to.
Oh, absolutely. Now, the one devil's advocate that I did to you is, how much of this last season was due to Herndon versus how much was due to Darnold's pitiful play. But
I think everybody loses. Everybody was bad.
Oh, everyone gets a bad score for sure. Yeah. But I don't put it that much on Darnold. I still think Herndon is disappointing on multiple levels.
Very disappointing. And I think that he'll be lucky to be on the team. It just depends on what they do. So we do have a couple of free agents that we liked that we wanted to talk about. Did you want to mention, you said Hunter Henry? You want to hit him up again?
I do like Hunter Henry. I think, we're going to do both the free agent market and the draft, right? In terms of scenarios?
A little bit of draft, not a lot.
All right.
Because I've only really got one name that I want to talk about.
Of course you do. So let's just look at free agency, what's available to the Jets. Potentially, based on his contract, Rob Gronkowski, it could be on the market. However, John and I both think, and I'm sure you're preaching to the choir, that he's going to stay right where he is right now, like a little rat. I don't see him leaving Tampa Bay.
Gronkowski's not going anywhere.
We got Jonnu Smith coming out of Tennessee.
I got to pause you. Busted Knuckles. Sorry, boys. I'm super late.
Oh, we got Cheers, the man.
Busted Knuckles. The one
Joe.
His name's on the back of the chair. I wrote it. I carved it out with a knife, and then I put a heart around it.
I saw him do it.
I carved it like a tree.
And then we lit a candle next to it.
All right, got a little weird there. Welcome to the chat, my friend Busted Knuckles. Grant Rude. There's another tight end in this year's draft that is slated to go early second if Douglas sees tight end as a big need. I hope he prioritizes quarterback, edge, cornerback, guard over all else in the first 3 to 5 rounds. Yes. Yes. Joe Douglas will do that. I'm very confident that he will. Now, he might have like one or two players where we're kind of like scratching our head, because we were all scratching our head with the James Morgan pick. That was a weird pick.
Yes.
I even at the time didn't really love LaMichael Pirine. I'm still kind of not on his bandwagon. I still don't.
Why?
Because he didn't really show that he's great at any one thing. I'm being serious.
I know you are.
He's an all-around guy. Like, he can do a little bit of everything, but he's not explosive. He doesn't, like, break a lot of tackles.
He's a depth chart filler.
That's exactly right, and that's why I don't really like the pick. When you're drafting a running back, you got to get somebody who has the raw physical gifts.
Especially when you consider who the Jets have had in that position over the last 4 seasons.
Yeah. So, if you're going to take somebody at running back, you got to get somebody who's a home run. No way bullshit. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Who's that?
Are we talking about...
Oh, shit. It's Joe.
Talking about a running back?
Yeah, let's hear Joe. Or at the next transition, give us a call. How about that?
All right, hit your tight ends.
Where was I with the tight ends? Here's what I'll say. Although we're not going into the draft side, there are opportunities in the draft. Again, our mock draft 1 is really early.
It is super early.
Super early.
Yes.
So take that into consideration. And then 2, there's a lot of trade possibilities that we didn't actually do for the mock draft. So it's not like we said, alternating, well, I'm going to trade down if I'm Jacksonville or the Jets or whoever. And so I don't know. We plan on doing another mock draft, right? So
we will. So we're going to do a mock draft probably only 2 more times. We're going to do one after free agency, and then Mike and I are going to have the live stream started at about 7 o'clock the night of the first round.
In the morning.
At night. And we will read our first round right before the draft starts.
Yeah. So when things start to really facilitate and those rumors start to become more realistic, then that's when we plan on doing an actual mock draft with trade scenarios.
Yeah. Once we know more specifically what teams might be wanting to trade, because there will be rumors close to the draft like that.
Yeah. But that all goes back to my thing. The reason why I say that is because I do think that the Jets will probably make a move on their tight end position either in the draft or in the free agency. And until the draft becomes more realistic, again, free agencies, you've got Hunter Henry. Jared Cook's a big name that's out there. What?
It's Joe. So he said Pat Friar Tuck, excuse me, is the guy to grab second round if we're tight end shopping. Friar Tuck. Oh, okay, Robin of Loxley.
Love that movie.
Anyway, I'm fine with tight end. If he really believes in the tight end, I will support pretty much any Joe Douglas pick. There really haven't been many that I didn't like.
That's been the common theme chat, is whatever Joe D thinks. I think that's either straight fire or...
There's a lot of us that believe that.
Or Joe who said that. So.
A bunch of us have. All right, so Joe said my name's not on that chair. Well, you know what? It's not.
He's right.
I'll tape it, though. I'll tape it on there next time.
He tattooed it on his ass.
Joe, if you tune in next week... If you're in the chat next week, there will be your name on the back of the chair. All right, so we got P. Ryan is a poor man's Powell who the Jets could have signed. I do not like Bilal Powell. I'm respectful because I don't think he's a bad dude or anything like that. I just don't like the player. I don't think he's gonna
get us where we need to go.
Yeah, he's not gonna make big plays happen. I don't think. Let's see. Tacos draft night. We're bringing the beers. Draft night.
Oh.
Draft night.
I'm bringing it.
I'm bringing the beers. I'll bring them.
Dilly.
Grant Rude says, not film games. Usually halfway through the Jets game. These past 2 years, I'd be pissy and switch to PVR college football games. Honest to God, I should have done that more this past year. I really regret that. Is just not watching the Jets because it's too much aggravation.
I'll tell you what I regret. Maybe not so much in 2020, but before 2020, it was not going to the bar to watch a game with you.
That would be fun, but we couldn't because of the...
I know, but I said before the 2020 season. That's what I
got
not doing that enough.
Okay, Grant Rude is saying we should tape it to my forehead. We'll do both. Actually, you know what? I'll even mark it. I'll put a marker on my forehead.
You can do it. I'll do it right now.
No, I don't think that's a good idea. Are we going live? Are we going live for the draft? The answer is 100% yes.
Yeah.
We will be 100% live. We are planning to be live that entire night.
What are you doing?
I was trying to turn the volume down just a little bit, but we're good. I'll take a Sharpie on the chair
That's hilarious.
I had
right
a lot
now.
of junkie.
It's great.
Yeah, it's miserable. All right. So we talked about Herndon. We talked about some of the tight ends. I don't really feel like I got a turn. You kind of just dominated that conversation a little bit.
I do dominate. I did
So
dominate you.
I'm gonna put a couple of names out there since you offered us Hunter Henry and Rob Gronkowski.
I said Jared Cook.
So
I said Jared Cook.
okay, he's
Seven
30. He's
touchdowns.
30. He's 34 years old.
He had a great season.
But he was playing with Drew Brees, Captain Checkdown.
What are you going to really talk smack about Drew Brees?
No, I'm not talking smack about Drew Brees. I'm talking about your shitty tight end pick.
I'm just saying Jared Cook.
Jared Cook is a dinosaur in tight
signing.
end.
I'm not signing him to a lifetime contract.
We're going to talk about the young, good players in this show. We're not going to talk about the old guys on their way out show. Okay? So,
Well, we have Frank Gore. So what show are we on?
Jonnu Smith, tight end from the Tennessee Titans. I think if he becomes available, the Jets should be interested in Jonnu. It just depends on price. I don't want us to overspend on him. But if he's an option, think about him in this West Coast scheme.
Yep.
Jonnu Smith could be a terror on play action, boots, and all that
How
stuff
old
that
is
they'll
he?
be doing. I'm sorry?
How old is he?
Jonnu Smith is 26.
Yeah, almost 10 years younger than the player.
He had 41 receptions last year, 446 receiving yards
How many touchdowns?
in a run-heavy offense. I don't have his touchdown scores here, but that doesn't really matter. He's a receiver. Like, you don't want to just look at touchdowns with tight ends. If they are catching, I would say anywhere from 40 to 60 balls, that's a pretty good tight end.
Oh no, I'm definitely I agree with you, but I'm just was curious.
We got another tight end, Robert Tonyan from the Green Bay Packers. He's 27 years old, so he's still got a couple of years left, and he had a really good year with Aaron Rodgers. Now I get he is really good, an elite quarterback, so he may have contributed to Yeah, we're gonna get to it. Nice, I'll be with you guys draft night then. Grant, can't wait, man. Thank you so much.
Grant, man, cheers. We haven't done cheers in a while. Cheers, man.
Well, chat's got to pick it up.
Yeah, chat, pick it up.
And my wife with the comment Gore.
Gore.
Let's let that one go.
AKA Ghost Hands. AKA.
Robert Tonyan would be interesting. He's a big guy. He's athletic. Could be an interesting guy. He can block too because they were a very good running football team.
Who are we talking about?
Robert Tonyan, the tight end from the
yes.
Packers, 27 years old, 52 catches, 586 yards. Another guy that's decent. This is not going to be a above average tight end. He's more of an average guy. But Dan Arnold, 26 years old, 31 receptions, 438 yards. He's young too, so 26. I don't know if I said that, but
Yeah, very young.
a young guy, and again, could be better than what we have right now.
Yeah, I think I'm sure there's different opinions on that. You know, who was it that said they would ride with Chris Herndon?
We got some comments in the chat. Let's get to these.
What we got?
By the way, thank you guys. You're picking it up in the comments. That does make it. We want to interact with you guys, so keep hitting it up. Busted Knuckles Smith is a really good free agent target. I'd be all in, then forget tight end in the draft. That's the one thing I like about signing a tight end in free agency, and that's actually my preferred method for filling this hole, because I want them to use the picks on edge, offensive line, quarterback potentially, and cornerback. Hopefully you could hear the difference between the two. And a wide receiver. Like, I want them targeting those positions in the draft. And if they can sign a tight end to fill that void, that's what I want. Somebody new to the chat, Jets Wire Official.
Boom!
Welcome to the
Hey!
chat. Thanks for tuning in.
Welcome,
Looks like
welcome,
you're
welcome.
on YouTube as well. I'll have to check you out. I don't think I've seen your work, but welcome. I will be subscribing.
Love the logo.
Hope you will consider subscribing. By the way, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button.
Please.
We're going to be doing this every week, and we love doing it.
Nope. It's
Um,
down that way.
So, Jets Wire Official, who do we think will sign in free agency? I've got two that I want, and I think that Joe Douglas will want them too. And Curtis Samuel is at the top of my wide receiver list right now. He's very, very young. He's very, very fast. And he'll be able to do those jet sweeps that the Niners use quite a bit with Deebo Samuel. I would love to see Curtis Samuel be signed after we cut Jamison Crowder. And a lot of people are going to be upset about that. But if you think about it, we're adding a younger player, a more explosive player, at a position that we really, really need. We need a good, explosive wide receiver. And I just feel like Jamison is pretty one-dimensional. He's going to run those little routes underneath, but he's not really a field stretcher.
No, not at all.
So, like, linebackers can try to cover him. If they're in a zone defense, like, they can pretty much body him up inside.
Oh, by far.
And Crowder's really good. Don't get me wrong. He's a borderline 800 to 1,000 yard receiver pretty much every year. But he's getting older, and he's very expensive, and we can literally upgrade at the same exact position and get younger.
Younger, chat.
I really want Curtis Samuel. And the other position that I would like to address is edge pass rusher. And I really, really like, and there's going to be a video coming out this weekend. It's one of my free agent profile videos. Trey Hendrickson from the New Orleans Saints is a stud. He's young. I think he's only 27 years old. 13 and a half sacks this past year. Mm-hmm. How dope would it be to have somebody that can really rip off the edge? Because he's good at it.
We saw lights. We had bleeding images of it.
With who?
In the regular season with the 2 wins we got. Both of those games we were getting pressure.
Interior pass rush, not exterior, not the edge.
Oh no! I'm sorry. I thought you were just talking.
We're talking about
general.
edge right now, dude. Trey Hendrickson defensive end would be beastly.
Oh, for sure. I agree with that 100%.
Listen to this: 13 and a half sacks, only played in 53, 51, something like that % of the defensive snaps.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
50%.
I know. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying
that's low for a starter. Just a heads up.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just saying in general, there was, because of the youth of the team, you saw little bits of possibilities. I think obviously adding to that, and then with Robert Saleh coming in and implementing his scheme, I think that would be a fantastic timing opportunity. So I'm not disagreeing with you.
I'm all for edge right now. So
yeah,
it would be too good if we can get Quinnen Williams, like you said.
Especially when you compare it with a secondary investment. So if you can get
Sherman, some people want Sherman in free agency. That's a Jets wire. That's a
really good opportunity.
That's another person that I would be interested in is signing a cornerback that's like a 1 year stopgap kind of
gas
position.
In his tank.
He's got a little bit of gas. Richard Sherman's definitely at the end of his career, but he played okay when he played last year.
Oh, absolutely. He's still locked down.
So I would like to see them invest in him so that we. Like, I would rather not draft a cornerback this year because I don't feel like we have a pick in the range where the good ones are going to be going.
Right.
So if we trade back and take a cornerback, I can get behind that. That would be pretty cool. We got a lot of comments to get at, so let's go real quick through this. Joe says, we just need to bring in someone to push Herndon. I thought he said punch Herndon. That would have been funny. By the way, if you have a funny comment, please put it in here because we're looking for those as well. You guys need to be funny. What's going on with Griffin? He's hurt, right? What's left on his contract? Griffin is... so he was quoted last year, I believe, actually saying that he'll never be the same that he was prior to his last injury. Like, he literally came out and said that. So, Griffin's a cut candidate. I think he's going to potentially be off the team. I don't think... I think he has a year left, and I think they'll let him... I think they might need to let him go. Sean Bennett says Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm not in love with that. I could be okay with it, but I don't really love it.
Not with what we have behind center.
Right. Hey guys, you've probably talked about it last week. What were your thoughts on the Bucs versus the Chiefs?
I think this is a new viewer.
So TH, welcome. We're not sure if you've been in the chat before. Welcome if you have.
You get a cheers anyway.
Yeah.
Hey.
So welcome to the show. So Bucs versus Chiefs, I mean, we really summarized it as offensive line matters. Patrick Mahomes.
And defense matters.
Yeah, defense matters. Pass rush matters. Those were our big takeaways. And, that would summarize it pretty quickly, I think.
And the GOAT.
Yeah.
That would be the only addition to that statement.
Grant Rude says, do not want Juju. I lean towards more not wanting him than wanting him. But it's not like I can't, if we sign him, it's not like it can't work. I just don't love it. Would you be fine if we signed Juju? We already kind of hit on that. Griffin admitted he doubted he'd make it ever back to where he was before his injury. He's good cut bait in my opinion. Agreed. Griffin's probably gone.
Yeah.
Yes, cut Crowder. So if you cut Crowder, I'm pretty sure you save like close to $10.5 million in cap space.
I think it was 12.
It's not 12.
It's not.
It's not. It's like $10.5 to $11 million in savings. So by cutting him, the idea is that you're taking that whole lump sum of money, $10.5 million, and applying it to a Curtis Samuel. Like, I'm not saying cut Crowder unless you actually get somebody to replace him.
Is that any of it dead money?
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh, nice.
So I would say cut him only if you know you're going to land Curtis Samuel. If you're not going to get Curtis Samuel, you hang on to Crowder. But they might, I mean, like I said, they may not cut him, and that would be fine too.
Hey, we got to pause for a sec. I got to call it 2 comments. Great Reed says Sherman already said he would convert to safety if Saleh wanted him. But he's
we got a
fast
call.
enough.
We got a caller here. Hold on a second.
Wait, here we go. I was gonna say Jets Wire was trying to call us.
How's it going? How you doing? Welcome to NYJ today.
What's up, boys?
How you doing, man? What's your
What's
name?
going on, man?
What's your name?
My real name is Anthony. I just want to call into the show. Just talk some Jets here.
That's
Hey,
awesome, dude.
What's going on, man?
Give us what you want to talk about.
Nothing, bro. I'm just waiting on what the Jets are gonna do at quarterback, man. But this offseason is gonna be a really wild offseason. I'm telling you right now.
What do you want, man? What do you want him to do?
Well, quarterback, because he's talking specifically about that. So
Listen to me. Even though, like, with all the rumors of Deshaun Watson going on, in my opinion, I just don't really think. As much as I like Deshaun Watson, I know how good he is. He's literally a top 5 quarterback in this league. I just don't think Joe Douglas is the type of guy that's going to throw away all of our picks. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I
no,
agree.
100% agree.
He's not that type of guy who's just going to throw everything away.
Yep.
He's not Jerry Jones.
He's not.
I
He's.
think he's going to look.
Go ahead. Yo, you're good, man. Go ahead.
Did you guys hear today that the Jets are going to be working with 4 quarterbacks next month?
Oh, they're going to be working them out.
We're doing pro days and stuff like that with 4 quarterbacks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I read that. I
I'm
read
not
that.
surprised to hear that. I didn't know that actually, and I'm not surprised to hear that. They definitely are in the QB market.
Jets reporter Rich Shemini reported it today. He said that the Jets are going to work with North Dakota quarterback Trey Lance, Alabama quarterback Mac Jones,
Right.
Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields, and BYU quarterback Zach Wilson.
Yeah, literally every first round projected
Yeah.
quarterback. they're gonna look at all of them.
Except for Kyle Trask and Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, so they already know what's happening at the top. They're not gonna.
I have a question for the both of you guys. What do you guys want at quarterback?
Oh.
Go.
I would, you know what, man. I would say it's Mike here. I was still holding on hope to a free agent situation, but if that is, I'm with you in the sense that I think that door is closing or has already closed. I think I'm with Zach Wilson. If we're taking a quarterback in the draft, we're taking Zach Wilson.
Bro, I really think Zach Wilson could end up being a Jet next year. I'm being honest with you.
I agree.
A couple months ago, literally said he fixed the 49ers system. So
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. That's the thing that I
Listen,
think.
I'd be fine with Fields though. I'd be fine with it.
Yep. You'd be fine with who?
But I would be fine with Fields, but I kind of want Wilson a little more.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
That's how I lean
That's
too.
just me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Fields is like a high upside guy. I think that's
Got an arm though. He's got an arm.
dude can rocket. He can rocket launch it.
His decision making is a little. It's questioning.
He's a gunslinger,
Yes.
man.
Nope.
He's
No,
a-
he's not a
Zach
gunslinger.
Wilson, his decision making isn't bad. Like he's coming off a great year, and I'll tell you guys this, bro. If you watch Zach Wilson throwing the run, it is special.
Oh, he is
Yeah,
very
that's a good
good.
point.
He's deadly
when
on the run.
when he throws on the run,
Yeah, 100%, man.
like I think this is gonna be. I think this guy can easily be the Jets guy next year. I really think.
Dude, I
If
think
we're picking second overall, you're telling me who I'd rather pick, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields. I think Zach Wilson.
yeah. No, I think there's a very high
nailed it, man.
I think there's a high possibility that they're going to go with him, and I think that
Well,
Yeah.
what do you think is going to make Joe Douglas fall in love with Fields? How do you think that would happen?
how would he fall in love with Fields?
Yeah. Like
So-
somehow he'll just end up liking Fields better.
I think the way that Joe Douglas